nobody cares. Nobody wants to see that on the video. They're watching for an idea of how not to fly the Airbus. Hello everybody, welcome to Chaz Draycott Media and welcome to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Welcome specifically to Brussels Airport in Belgium, where today we're going to be doing a quick hop down to France in the Airbus A320 by Fenix. We're going to be Air France 6 Charlie Delta today in the Airbus A320 CFM. It's literally Brussels to Paris Orly, an airport that I've flown into a couple of times. I only had time for a little hop today and I just wanted to choose two airports, and I'm sort of staying true to moving the aircraft, I can't say the word right, around on Volante. I'll show you what I mean. So on Volante you can keep track of where your aircraft are around the world, and it tells you what aircraft you have at what airport, and it's based on where you last flew them basically. F-GKXS, the Airbus that we're in today, was last at Brussels. I flew there with my friend Dan, and we're going to be flying it down to Paris Orly today. Simple as that. I did want to jump on VATSIM for this one, but I think I'm going to just give it a miss for today. There has been an update to the sim as well, so I just need to make sure that my graphics options are turned down, because normally it does mess about with your graphics options. Everything's on medium, lens flare and motion blur and all that's off. Okay, sound, so it's all right. So I've got my usual procedures list and checklist that we're going to go through. Drew slated me for my flight to Tivat recently, so he can slate this one as well. Batteries 1 and 2, external power on, APU master switch on, and then you give it a few seconds before you press APU start. Crew oxygen supply on. We then put the ADIAs to nav, left, right, then center. We want to put the nav and logo light on. We're going to put that on 2. Strobe light to auto. Interior lights is required. Seatbelt signs come on. And no smoking signs to auto. Arm the emergency exits. We need to do our fire tests in just a second when we've got everything. Ooh, that's a big freeze. Didn't like that. GSX, we're going to get boarding. Oh, actually, no, we need to get our information from Simbrief first. Cool. Says we're a bit late. Not quite sure why. Right, so that beep means that the aircraft, as far as I know up here, is ready for tests and so on. It means that the audio stuff has come on. So we're going to do fire tests, engine, yep, engine, and then the APU. Cool. Drew's going to kill me because I've just realised I've already put the APU on before doing the fire test. Still, I don't care. Fuel pumps next up, left to right on these. We're going to set the aircraft fuel in a minute anyway, and then we go down to flight directors. Okay, smashing. What is the QNH here at the moment? QNH is 1011 here at Brussels. Let's make sure that's done on both sides. I'm going to write that down on my little thing here as well. Come on, pen's not working. It's at this point that we set up the MCDU, so we go to FMGC, go to init, and then do an init request. That should put all of the information in regarding our flight today. There we go. Flight number is Air France AFR 6 Charlie Delta. Cost index is 25 today, and the flight level is 270. Move over to this. We'll get our zero fuel weight off here. We need to do our performance up top. Oh no, do we need to load the aircraft? Where's the thing for loading the aircraft? Can't remember, can you? Mass and balance, there it is. Okay, cool. Load aircraft real time, send to MCDU, then we do the performance, sync load sheet, sync live weather, calculate, get our takeoff speed, send it to the MCDU, down here, and there it all is. What's our block fuel? It shouldn't be that little. Block fuel 5183, so today block fuel should be 5.2. I think Dan had that issue in the past where he had to update his block fuel and everything in there. Now let's go to the flight plan, let's get our departure and everything in. Let's show you this on the charts. This is how it looks. Bit of a zigzag today. Civ 1 Foxtrot departure from, which runway was that? Runway 01. Civ 1 Foxtrot. Pop that in there. We then have the, what arrival? Because we didn't have an arrival in specifically. Is it the Matix 9 Whiskey? I don't like that. What's it done there? Let's try and import that again, shall we? Oh, it's changed it to that. What is this? Oh, Mom, I messed up. Try that again. Matty 9 Whiskey. Yeah, cool. Then approaches. ILS 25. Okay, cool. That fixed it. Goodness gracious me. Okay, so we need to then go to LFPO. Arrival, we're going to be on ILS runway 25. We want the Matty 9 Whiskey. Okay, so what we'll now do is go up to the plan page on here. Plan. Let's just follow this, shall we? Just make sure that it's not broken. We can tell some of it to join back up if we need to. I think there's going to be a gap at Vebek, yeah. Vebek, decel, CI25. Okay, so we'll tell the aircraft to go straight there. Vebek, CI25, FF25. Okay, cool. Flipping heck. Right, can we continue now on this? I don't know. MCDU, yeah, I think we're all good. Oh, I've realised what I've not done. I did this in the last flight. Ah, ground services. We need to do the cargo doors. I've never seen that rear loady thingy before where it lifts it up and slides it in. That's pretty cool to see, isn't it? Right, so before we need to get going, we need to do our takeoff data. So we need to go down to perf on here, make sure... Oh, it's already got it in. That's the ease of the Phoenix, I suppose. We'll do a quick check of the squawk code as well. We need to put 2000 in. Let's put that on TA and then put that on auto. Do that. Unlock the cabin door. We're going to put predicted wind shear on as well. Cool, I'm happy with all that. Do a quick throttles check. Yep. Fine by me. Reverses. Yeah, banging. We need to then look at the departure and check out our initial altitude that we're going to be going to today. Initial climb clearance, flight level 060, 7 when it's 995 or below. So 060 we're going to go to. I think I remember that from the video that I did with Dan and Drew, which would have been this one. That was really, really good fun, that, honestly. A few people have said many positive things about that and how it's one of the funniest flight sim videos they've seen, so do go and watch that if you get time. I think the aircraft's all done from the outside. Let's have a look. Yes, it is. So we can then go to the iPad, get rid of the cargo doors. We can get rid of the GPU, I believe, because we're running on the APU now. We will also then get rid of the jetway from GSX. Get that to disconnect. Get rid of that GPU, and then we will, yeah, be prepared for pushback as far as I know. Windows, doors, beacon light comes on. That is... that one, flipping heck. Thrust levers idle, parking brake, APU, yep. So now that we're doing this, it's basically preparing us for pushback automatically. Now that we've put the beacon light on, that's us telling it that we're ready. Hello.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Good, because so am I. APU bleed on. External power is disconnected, engine mode goes into ignition. So let me sit comfortably. I was going to say, it should ask us any second now where we want to be going. We want a pushback line facing east. Release parking brakes. Okay, starting push. Engine's clear. Start at will. Down to ignition. Start engine number 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, please observe the cabin crew member closest to you as we are about to demonstrate the safety features of our Airbus A320 aircraft. Thank you. Gentlemen, welcome aboard our Airbus A320. Please pay attention to illuminated signs and crew instructions, including the following safety procedures.
Okay, so right engine started, parking brake is coming on, and then we're going to start engine number 1. I want to know what the bloody hell she just did to our gear then when she unlocked that. What was that about? That was mental. Right then, So, before taxi, once the engine's started anyway, we're just waiting for it there. You could hear that clunk, that's the buses transferring it. It should say available there. There it is. Okay, that means we're all good. Lovely start. Right, so flaps to 1, speed brakes armed. We need the APU bleed off and then the APU master switch off. And then we have all the ECAM status and everything to check. We need the runway turn off lights on when we get there. We're going to put the nose light to taxi, and then we're going to do a brake test once we get going. I think she's all good and gone. There she goes. Cracking. Let's roll forward, shall we? Parking brakes coming off. Slight bit of throttle just to tell the aircraft to shimmy a little bit. I've turned my volume up on my game actually since last time. I think in some of the previous edits, bear with me. Yep, brake check's good. In some of my previous edits, I have turned the audio up in editing rather than in the game. I've actually turned it up in the game this time, so hopefully we should get a bit more volume. Let's figure out where we're taxiing, shall we? Because we are going to runway 01. So we're going to go basically to the end of here, right onto outer, and then just follow it down. We're going to cross runway 7 right. We're going to go full distance, full length. Oh, we're going to go full length away from the centre of this taxiway as well by the look of it. So let's just make sure we get out of here, then we'll do all of our checks and so on with the takeoff config and the cabin and all of that stuff. Make sure as well in here they've got this. Yep.
Hi, Captain. The cabin is now secure for takeoff.
Thank you, love. Bing bong that anyway. I need to turn down the handling of this thing because it really does shimmy around a lot on the ground. Just trying to think if there's anything else I need to do. Auto brakes max for takeoff. I think pretty much the rest of it is all written down on here. So it's all stuff that we know we've done before. Oh, what is with the handling on the ground? It's really sensitive all of a sudden. I'm just going to quickly change that, bear with me. There we go, I've changed it so I can be a bit smoother on the stick now because it was instantly sort of kicking off and like going full steering to the right and left as soon as I went anywhere near the stick. So now I've got to properly twist it a little bit to get some decent movement. Alright, we're going to brake here and then go to taxiway outer, which is on our right hand side. Oh, is it that one or this one? That one. This is taxiway outer, or is it? No, it's this one. Ah, God, I made a mess. I blame SimBrief because the very front of the little pink arrow that shows you where your plane is, you're actually sort of here. It's really weird. Right, this is outer. It is written on the ground, so I should have been able to see that. Takeoff config test. Banging. Okay, let's taxi down then, shall we? I realise we're taxiing really, really slowly here, so giving it a little bit more waft. Currently only at 15 knots. I'm going to turn the ND up a bit, it's a bit dim. And the PFD as well. Okay, a bit of a bump in the road there. I think we're going slightly right then straight on. Let me just check. Yeah, slight right then straight on. Out to 10, then we're going to cross runway 7 right. But yeah, I knew that I needed to record an episode. I have had another charter through just yesterday. Or was it the day before? I've had another charter request come through. So I'll be doing one of them. I'm excited to tell you it'll be in the United States as well. We're going to be flying the 737 over in the States. It's not a usual route for an airline, but I've managed to put together a flight plan that will at least give us the capability to do a decent flight there. And you too can charter flights for me. If you do fancy giving me somewhere to go to and from, then do check out my website. There'll be a link in the description for that, and you can charter flights for me. But as mentioned, didn't have all the time in the world for this one today, so just wanted to do a little hop from Brussels to Orly. So we're going to cross the runway now. We would usually get clearance, but we know there's no other aircraft about because I'm not online or anything. I was going to go on VATSIM today, like I say, but just I'm not. Got to give it a bit of a shove here to get across the runway. It was not wanting to move. Auto brakes set to max, flaps set to 1, speed brakes are armed. We're pretty much going to get straight on with this then, so we need to check everything. Overhead panel and all that's done, flight controls checked, flap set for takeoff, transponder auto or on, We're going to get that to TA and RA. We're then going to have our landing lights and stuff on, as if we've been given clearance just now. Runway turn-offs on, strobe to on, nose light to take off. No, take off. And we're going to go full length here. We're going to go right to the end of this. Let it just coast around. We're cruising here at 10 knots, going very slowly. Onto runway 01. And here we are then, lining up. Air France 6 Charlie Delta. We've got the Civ 1F departure, and then we're going to be going up to flight level 270. Still going very, very slowly. I'm going to bring it to a stop. There's the long old runway 01 here at Paris Orly. Usually we land in the opposite direction. We've landed here a few times before now. Bring it to a stop. Parking brake on for just a sec. Right then, everything's all good to go as far as I know. Strobe and everything on, beacon, runway turn-offs, all the lights are all golden. Yeah, let's crank it everybody. Parking brake coming off. Build it up to about 50%. Hopefully this sounds great for you guys. Now I've turned the volume up a little bit. Stabilised, let's go. Okay, Manflex, SRS, runway, auto thrust is blue. Keeping my right hand on those throttles. Got a little bit of pressure on the nose, 80 knots and releasing that pressure. 100 knots. 120. V1, rotate. Banging. Positive climb gears coming up. Fantastic. What a noise. Turning to the right, we've got quite a steep turn on departure here. Maybe not that steep. Chased that a bit aggressively to begin with there. Here we go, now we're turning. And now we're freezing. Whoa, that was a big frame stutter, wasn't it? Lever into climb. One of my favourite noises. Still going a little bit steep to the right here. I'm not quite flying this departure as well as I normally would. I think that PFD's a little bit bright actually. It's hard to tell where that cross is. Turned it down a slight bit. Banging. We've reached S speed, so flaps are now coming clean. Sounds so good. Okay, so after takeoff checklist, we need the landing gear up, we need the flaps retracted, which we've done. We are then going to disarm the speed brakes. Nose light comes off. Runway turn-offs come off. Landing lights are obviously up till 10,000. Seatbelts as required. A little bit away from the flight director there. Not quite following it. Like I say, not as closely as I'd have liked. We're going to get up to 6,000 feet. Pretty sharpish, and then we're going to go straight to 27. Let's come out of standard. Oh god. I'll come into standard, I should say. Standard pressure. Yeah, I've put myself properly off the flight director there. Put it in autopilot. Yeah, the aircraft's going to level it out a little bit. That was a bit scrappy towards the end there actually. One of my scrappier departures, but still, we're up and out of here. And then once we get past the next couple of waypoints, then we're going to go up to 27,000 feet. But yeah, out of Brussels we go. Air France 6 Charlie Delta. Let's give you some beauty shots before we climb, shall we? Okay, departure all good so far, so let's crank it up to 27,000 feet, shall we, on here. And then we'll press it in to tell the aircraft you manage this. Let's climb. Those CFMs making a fantastic noise. We're coming up to 10,000 feet, so I'm going to put seatbelt signs and landing lights off. Now I need to make my mind up whether I'm clicking or scrolling those things. Let's just have a look then at the checklist, make sure there's nothing else that I've missed. I think it's just landing lights and seatbelt signs now until we get to our top of descent. Looks like that's going to be that now, so we're going to head up to 27,000 feet, get cruising as best we can. Quite tasty conditions here this morning out of Brussels. I'm using live weather and live time as well. I never set the chrono, but it's 14 minutes since we started taxiing anyway, I know that much. I put that on a little bit earlier on. Block time today is about 1 hour and 5 minutes. Air time is planned to be about 42 minutes. It's not a long flight at all. But yeah, back up in the air we go, and I'll give you some beauty shots on our climb, and I'll see you when we get to the descent. Lovely turns and shots in all of that there. Got much better frame rate now, we're up at this sort of height, is crazy. But yeah, we are currently at 22,500 feet and continuing to climb, nearly at 23 now, and then we're going to get to top of climb at Matix, and then we should be at top of descent before we know it actually. Let me have a look on here at the next phase. Top of descent is only 31 miles away, so we're really not going to be up here far at all actually. Wow, we're literally going to be at the top of climb for like 10 miles, so it's when we need to start putting the information in. We better get on with this actually, because look, that's crazy. So we need to look at the ILS approach. We intercept it at 3,000 feet as designated by this thing here. We need to then look at the information on the ground, so we need to get the METAR from down there. We need our arrival METAR please. It's 1009, 240 at 6. So it's 240 at 6. 1009 at QNH. What's the temp? Temperature is 14. The dew point of 13. What are the minimums at the other end? 487 in the box. And that is that done. So we want to get this down to 3,000 feet. Oh heck. We weren't at the top of climb. I've already done it. I'm an idiot. Imagine that, putting the descent altitude in before you got to the top of the climb. Good lord. Look, there's the top of climb, there's the top of descent. Wow. We're nearly at 27,000 feet anyway now, so let's turn the FO's iPad off. And unplug it. Cool. Not long to go. Not quite sure what that sudden burst of pace was there, but that seemed really weird, didn't it? Okay, so we're at 27,000 feet now. It says decelerate. No, you decelerate. We should be coming up to... Where's the top of descent gone to? We need to be putting this down to 3,000 feet, and it'll manage any other restrictions on the way down. Perf. Oh, we're past it by 7 miles. Flipping it, we got there quick. Right, time to descend already. Good God. For more drag now by the aircraft, so we're going to pop some in. We're going to put the speed brakes up to half. We'll show you them out of the... Oh, press the wrong button. Find them out of the window. You can see they're just coming up a little bit there. We've caught back up to our descent profile now. Flight level 110 is the restriction here. I can't get my words out today at all. We've got a few miles to make that yet. We're descending at 2,000 feet a minute. Excuse me. Yes, I know speed brakes are still out. That's fine. I'll put them away then if you're going to moan about it. Company message, by the way, we've got ATSU, AOC menu, received messages. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to see that on the video. They're watching for an idea of how not to fly the Airbus. We're actually a little bit below profile now, I think, because the speed is gained. So it's sort of doing that thing I mentioned in the previous video where it will get the speed correct, then drop the height. We are going to be at 11,000 feet by the time we get to Vebek, which is good. Going to hold the restriction here. Let's just check the charts, shall we, and have a look at everything on here. We're in Vebek, down to CTL, Valpo, and then we're going to line up with CI25 and then head in. Why is Orly not loading on the charts? Weird, isn't it? None of the airports are loading. Have I got stuff turned on? Something's not working there. It's not connected to SimBrief or anything, has it? Because there's no data coming through. Look at that. There we go. That was weird, wasn't it? So runway 25. I'm going to figure out where we're going to be parking as well once we get into Orly. Looks like Air France park anywhere along here. Let's go for Alpha 42 as a gate or a stand. I'm going to put that down. Nope, not on this clipboard. It's on my other one. So we're going to go to stand Alpha 42, runway 25. What arrival did we go for in the end? I've not written half of this down on here. Matty 9 Whiskey arrival. QNH is 1009er. We're under 10,000 feet now as well, so landing lights can come on. Come on. Passenger seatbelt signs can come on as well. My god, what did I just click? Didn't know that was in there. That scared the out of me. Let's check what else we've got to do. I don't think there's anything really other than just getting the thing ready to land. We're going to be on ILS today as opposed to RNAV, so I can actually do this landing. Drew was talking to me last time about the fact that I still don't know how to do RNAV properly. He's going to show me at some point, everybody, so if you were disappointed in me as well for not knowing, then I apologise, but we will find out at some point, or I will anyway. We'll be wanting to line up before too long actually. We're coming down to 3,000 feet. We're not far away from the airfield at all actually. 34 miles away now.
Hi Captain, the cabin is now secure for landing.
Jesus Christ woman, scared the out of me. Do we want to tell the aircraft to start slowing down a little bit? Maybe. I'm going to tell it to do 200 knots. There's a bit of vectoring and stuff that goes on the way into Orly, so when you're offline it's not really an airport that makes much sense to fly into. I'm going to tell the aircraft to slow down to 200 knots, so it's going to level out a little bit now, and it'll sort the speed out, and then it'll continue to drop down. You'll see on these orange lines here when we can put flaps 1 in, which we will do so at our earliest convenience. Can't see the airport or anything yet, it's actually directly in front of us. I'm going to go flaps 1 now, bring that down. I'm going to put landing system on at this early stage, and I am a happy bunny with how everything's gone. I know there's a few bits that I don't get in the right order, and some stuff I maybe do early or stuff I maybe do late, but I enjoy doing this. There's CI25, so that's going to get us lined up with the centre line. FF25 as well. I'm going to change that range just so we can see it a bit better. Still above profile a bit here, but that's because the aircraft is dropping the speed. Watch, this will start dropping down now. Now we've got to the correct speed. Drew told us the sort of the cheat code for if you ever want to really descend an Airbus A320 is flaps to 180 knots, and it will drop. It will get you to whatever altitude you want it to get to. Okay, we need to come out of standard pressure now and go into 1009er. Do that on both sides, which is now done. We need to get it set up with the auto brakes. It's a pretty long runway. I think I mentioned when I took off, I was talking about the runway as if it was Paris Orly's runway, not Brussels. I don't know why. I'm going to arm the speed brakes. You're not supposed to do that till the gear's down, I think Drew said. So forget I did that. I'm going to tell the aircraft to manage the speed now. It's actually speeding us up quite a lot. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to do. Let's do a bing bong, because why not? The aircraft is dancing around all over the place. It's now got 141 down here, so it's going to then start slowing us down. As you can see, the speed is dropping. What, 12 miles out now? Let's just move this up. No, about 15 miles out. Once we get the diamonds and everything lined up, we'll bring the gear down when we're established. You can hear the throttle's doing a little bit here and there. We're going to go flaps 2, so that'll allow the aircraft to drop down even further on the speed. Let's turn the ND down now because it's gotten very bright all of a sudden. Absolutely zero visibility here. So it's holding altitude now at 3,000 feet, which is where we're going to intercept this. We're going to make a slight right turn and then we're going to line up with this diamond. You see it coming in? Making the right turn. We're going to go gear down now. I'm going to go flaps 3 and then flaps 4. It is raining here in Paris. We're going to click approach. It's got Cat 3 single. Glide slope and localizer. Looks like we did that just in time, everybody. Let's get that nose light up. Let's take off. We're going to put the runway turn-offs on. We're going to put all the lights on. No visibility, really. Can't see much at all. Okay, what else do we need? We need speed brakes to be armed. Predicted wind shear is on. Pretty sure we're all good to go. ECAM memo, no blue. Still no runway in sight. Runway in sight. I can see some landing lights. There we go. That, everybody, is runway 25 here at Orly. Okay, landing gear down, seatbelt signs on, cabin ready, spoilers armed, flaps are full, auto brake is on low. That's just come up on the ECAM. You can hear the rain. We've got a wet runway. Our landing speed is 141 knots. We're currently doing that. Don't think there's anything else to report just now. It's very nice out here. Love these conditions in Flight Sim. Always looks so good. They really do show the humidity very well. It's dead cool. Nice long runway to land on as well, runway 25. Gotta make sure I don't catch my sleeve on any of the controls down here. We have been well and truly spoilt rotten here by the aircraft. Still at 1,300 feet radio, 1,500 feet baro. I'm going to take over at 1,000 feet as I usually do. Not much else to say. We've not got long to taxi either. We've got a 7 knot crosswind coming in from that sort of way. It's almost like a tailwind at the moment. There we go. My aircraft now. Does need a little bit of guidance. It's moving around a little bit. Auto throttle is looking after me. Auto thrust, I should say. Whatever you want to call it. A little bit below the glide slope for a second there. Just giving it some tasty little nudges on the left stick. $500.
500. 100 above.
400.
Minimum.
Continue. To lean it right a little bit with this crosswind. It's only 8 knots though, it's not a big one.
100.
Glide slope.
We're alright on the glide slope, shut up.
Glide slope.
40. 30. 20. Retard. 5.
Oh, floated the life out of it. Floated the life out of it. Not good. We're not putting the reverses on. Just let the auto brakes do their job. Let it roll quite far down. I really did float that one. It'll be smooth, but not for the right reasons. 60 knots. Ground spoiler stowed, coming off at the fast exit on the right. Welcome to Paris Orly, everybody. Whoa. We flew off that taxiway, didn't we? Let's just park it here, shall we? Okay, let's see. So, speed brakes have been disarmed, engine mode is in normal, flaps we will retract now. TCAS goes into standby, which is down here. Down here, predicted wind shear off, we need the APU master switch on, and then the start switch 3 seconds later. Landing lights come off, and we have the nose light set to taxi. And we have the strobe light to auto or off. They're the runway turn-offs, Chaz. Sorted. Okay. So now we need to find our stand. We need to tell GSX. What stand did I say we were going to go for today? Was it 41 Alpha or something? Alpha 42. Gate A. Oh, okay. Alpha 41. Let's amend that, shall we? This pen is very inconsistent today. So Alpha 41. Wrong airport. Whiskey 36. Whiskey 1, Whiskey 2. Nice and easy. So we vacated at, was it Whiskey 36? Whiskey 35. So we're going Whiskey 36, Whiskey 1, Whiskey 2. Parking brake off. Let's taxi. Yeah, these gloomy, sort of cloudy conditions are some of my absolute favourites in flight sim. It's just the most atmospheric. I like flying in clear skies, but when it's all the time, there's no sort of challenge or lack of visibility for you to sort of go up against. So I prefer flying like this in these sorts of conditions, whereas a bit of cloud, a bit of wet weather sometimes, it makes it look pretty too, actually. I think it's prettier than having clear skies everywhere. Oh, now I've made the sensitivity changes to the stick, it's so much nicer. I hate the word nice, but it's so much nicer. Straight over this bit, and then we're turning right in towards the gates. Alpha 41 we're looking for. I think it's just going through the right of shot now. Alpha 3, Alpha 32, Alpha 41, that'll be us. Slow her down. Turn her in. A little bit eager on that turn, wasn't I? At least it's not like the Neo and it doesn't accelerate. Right, now we're straight. I'd say we're pretty straight. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, nearly. I was really concentrating then. Parking brake comes on then, everybody, and we need the nose lights are off, which it should have been as we turned in, to be honest with you. Runway turn-offs are off. APU bleed comes on. We then turn off engines 1 and 2. Some wonderful, wonderful noises there. There you go, look, commence deboarding. Deboard. Thank you, GSX. Let's make sure GSX actually does it. We need to operate the jetway. Excuse me. Air India, Jet Airways. Come on. Oh, is this one of the airports where you have to do it via the sim? So you have to do it via the sims. Some of the airports you have to do it via... Yeah, look, there you go. You have to do it via the Sims traffic controller. I remember Orly being one of them. So now we can request deboarding. And that's it from me here at a gloomy Paris Orly for this little hop from Brussels down to Orly today. Hope you enjoyed that one, everybody. This was just a quick little fun flight today. I do have another charter coming up, though, as I mentioned at the start of the episode. That's going to be taking us over to the United States. Really looking forward to that. We're going to be flying the 737 there for Delta, my first ever Delta flight. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget you can charter flights with me as well if you want to. Every so often I will just throw one in like this that I've just chosen to do for a bit of a laugh when I've got a few hours to spare. And I've thoroughly enjoyed this one. Always great to be back in the Airbus A320. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you very, very soon.